The Running Man 2025, Edgar Wright loses his spark in a flat adaptation. It's genuinely hard to admit, but Edgar Wright's highly anticipated adaptation of The Running Man is a poorly directed film, marking the second time in a row that one of cinema's most precise and playful stylists has felt completely lost. The filmmaker who once delivered the meticulous, tightly crafted, and wildly fun worlds of Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz appears unable to reconcile his distinct visual flair with the darker, heavier ideas he's attempting to explore. As with Last Night in Soho, this new film feels perpetually at war with itself. Wright's ambition was to deliver a faithful, grounded adaptation of Stephen King's 1982 novel written as Richard Bachman, steering far clear of Paul Michael Glazer's campy 1987 version starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. The novel told the story of Ben Richards, a desperate, morally conflicted man entering a deadly contest to survive 30 days against professional hunters in the city, all in a bid to save his sick daughter. Wright successfully leans into the book's darker tone, yet this very decision proves to be the root of many of the film's major problems. The core difficulty is that everything the film attempts to say about capitalism, media manipulation, spectacle culture, and the commodification of violence has been said countless times before, and often better going back 50 years to films like Death Race 2000. Hearing the same message repeated almost verbatim now feels tired, predictable, and even dated, particularly at a time when society's anxieties have shifted towards new technological and political landscapes. The film's social commentary, which is already blunt and obvious in the first 10 minutes, only grows more heavy-handed by the weak conclusion. An attempt to modernize this message by weaving in discussions about deepfakes and generative AI, and how they failed to replace the real thing, falls completely flat, going no deeper than a superficial sentence written on a whim. The self-important tone that the film approaches these conversations with ultimately drains the fun and the spark one would expect from a $110 million Edgar Wright production, especially in the flat opening and closing 20 minutes. Flashes of the Wright we know and love, stylish transitions, clever geographic cuts, playful camera moves, and a few satisfying music cues do occasionally surface. Yet, they arrive too late, only once the deadly game begins, and feel utterly disconnected. They draw attention to their own cleverness instead of blending naturally into the narrative. Despite having nearly tripled the budget of Baby Driver, nothing here comes remotely close to capturing the kinetic energy of that film's opening chase sequence. The Running Man is a visually proficient but narratively exhausted dystopian retread that sadly confirms Wright is struggling to find his footing outside of the genres that made him a star.